I spent $200,000 to find out whether studying overseas is worth it. Stick around till the end for the verdict. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not studying overseas is still worth it in 2024, especially if you're coming from a country like Singapore or any other country with a top-tier local education system. Recently, I've heard from a lot of acquaintances from various meetups that I've been going to that they would like to have the experience of going abroad. Certainly, that is also the case for a lot of Gen Z these days, as news articles have mentioned. However, today we're going to be answering the question of whether going there to study is really the best way to go about doing this, and at the end, we'll talk about whether it is actually worth the money. So first, let's start with the pros. The truth about it is that the benefits in most cases of studying overseas have very little to do with the actual underlying academic content, and more to do with the brand name of the university and the types of doors that it opens. This makes a degree just like an NFT that you're paying $200,000 for. The main benefit that I saw from my own experience studying in London and paying six figures for that privilege, learning how to function in an international environment, was the main benefit of making that step abroad. You do learn things such as independence in budgeting as well as day-to-day living. However, this is more a function of living overseas rather than the actual academic studying itself. That part was pretty much similar to whatever that I've experienced back in high school and prior to that. The other thing that is a pro would be the signaling that you are able to do once you actually get your degree. And this only applies if you go to a brand name university, probably things like target schools where companies like law firms as well as investment banks tend to hire from if you're looking for these sorts of industries. For example, if you went to Oxbridge or LSE, then it is highly likely that you'll land a higher paying job on average if you carry that degree. That could also mean that you will be able to pay back your original capital outlay much quicker. This benefit, however, may not apply as much if you were to go to any non-target school where you'll basically just be spending the money, which is as well regarded by all of these firms as you might have wanted. So now that we've talked a bit about the pros, let's move on to the cons. Now, $200,000 is about 5 times the amount required to study locally when we look at my home country of Singapore. And that figure could be infinitely more expensive compared to local options if your country offers free education at home. While high-paid roles may be in greater supply in cities like London, they are still the minority of what is available. From my experience, even a commercial banking graduate scheme, which typically is considered less competitive than investment banking, that also saw about 20 applicants per place for a starting salary of £35,000 per year. While that might sound good on paper when you do the currency conversion, that is actually no better than what you would probably get studying locally. However, the calculus changes if we look at the US, because jobs there tend to pay a whole lot more than they do in the UK. But then again, that is double the price, so you'd also need to double the stakes. What studying abroad does benefit, however, is people who may not have been treated the best in their home country. From experience in Singapore, this could mean people who didn't take the traditional path, go to an elite school before university, and so on and so forth. Applying to a foreign university may wind up getting you a better deal than you would have if you had applied for local options. So overall, is studying overseas and spending the amount of money actually worth it? Well, that is basically like asking whether it is worth buying an NFT. Odds are that if you look at it purely from a financial perspective, you'll be looking at a negative expected value gain as compared to your reservation option. However, it is still recommended if you have a clear goal of where you want to go. For example, if there are specific roles that may be in more abundant supply in the location you are going to, or you are aware why you are doing this instead of going the local route. If you want to learn about your options for studying overseas, we do also offer consults in the link in the description. All in all, hopefully you found this video informative and interesting. If you did, do leave a like down below and consider subscribing to this channel. Now, if you want to find out why I actually went through with my overseas study in the UK and then went there to work only to return to Singapore 2 years later, then you're going to want to check out this video over here. With all that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.